Okay, and we are live. I read somewhere that the quality of a father can be seen in the way that he sets up his vision or his purpose or his dreams, his aspirations. I love that word, his aspirations for himself. So the qualities of a father can be seen in the way that he sets these up for himself, but not only for himself, also for his family. That a father has a responsibility. You know, it comes kind of heavy when you put it together like that. This father who does this, and he starts to think about that it's being run like a business, because in my corporate world, we look at vision, we look at mission, we look at purpose, we look at strategy. Oh, dear me, business plans. So if we were to equate fatherhood to being a business, then there better be some actions that are put to this business, to this purpose. And when you put, if we were to equate fatherhood to being a business, so I'm going to leave you just thinking about that and just percolating a little bit on that, because guys, where there is all this focus, your energy flows there. So as fathers, and in fact, as parents, where is your energy? And we were discussing this last week. Where is your energy? And wherever it is that where your focus is? Because if you don't know your focus, if you don't know your vision, then you shall perish. It is said that where there's no vision, people perish. So just back to fatherhood. What game plan do you have? What is it that you have set out to do? I mean, listen to this. Knowing what you want and going for it are two very different things. So you have this aha moment, you want to be a dad, you want to be this father. It's great that you want that. But are you ready to go for it? Because going for it is going to be just like in a business where you need to have action plans. And when you have action plans, there's a timeline to it. There's certain ways that you do these things. Are you doing them? I mean, just like I say, percolate, think about it, food for thought, because we are faced with numerous opportunities in this lifetime of ours, numerous opportunities. The thing is, although the opportunities are there, are you stepping into your responsibility so that you can thrive? These opportunities can come and go, but maybe you just miss all of them. On his head. Is that the only way that you got it? Are you active, proactive? Are you reactive? What kind of activity are you partaking in? So intentionally living in fatherhood is something that is a conversation that should be had, and also in parenting. But today it's about celebrating fatherhood. So like I said, we are faced with numerous opportunities to step into our responsibilities and to thrive. Think about that. It's all a matter of how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? Are you going to be intentional about it? Well, here at LMC this June, it's all about intentional living. And today, like I say, we're celebrating fatherhood. For us, exactly a year ago, on 23rd of June, we had an intentional move. And that was to be able to take on the social media platform space. It was scary. It was scary because right up to this moment, I was doing everything face-to-face, one-on-one, traditional. I come in with my laptop, my books, taking down notes. I'm listening to you, training need analyses. And then I go home, create something, and I come and I provide it to you in a space of face-to-face. And there was body language we could read. However, what did COVID do? COVID provided me with an opportunity, as it did everybody. The opportunity came during COVID. And what was the opportunity for me as a life coach? It gave me the space to come into your living room because you are at home, you are a captive audience, you're a captive audience. I could have that really I'm not equipped, I can't do this. Or I would wait to see how it would pan out, disappear, because it was only going to be 3 months and gone. Remember that story of 3 months COVID, it's going to go, we're going to get back into business. Or do what I did, grab it for what it was as an opportunity and use what I had within my knowledge and take it onto this platform, social media platform. So I did. It's going to be a year on June 23rd as LMC on the social media platform. So in celebration, in the spirit of this celebration, we are giving away 2 things. One of them is my signature coaching, which is a group life coaching session, which is valued. Coaching session, I take 5 people only. I like to take the small number, because when I do take this small number, I'm able to interact with you on a one-on-one in this group setting. So in the spirit of celebration, we're giving away 2 things. The first one is my signature life coaching, which is group life coaching. You're here, you're listening, I'm talking to you. Get 4 people, DM me, and let's start. What do you get? You get 6 sessions of 1 hour each, and I throw in 1 additional session, which is your exit session after a month, just coming back in. I'm all about measurement to see how have you been doing with all the tools that we learned along the group life coaching session. That's the first one. The second one is clarity goal setting session. Clarity goal setting session. Now, traditionally, you would have come up with a New Year's resolution and said to yourself, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And then automatically, you should be looking at this goal coming to a fruition by December 31st, and the cycle continues. However, you must have a checkpoint, and June is your checkpoint. This is the time for that gut check. Are you on track? So if you're interested in doing this, take up this opportunity and win this 1 clarity goal setting session with me. It's a one-on-one on virtual space. It's valued at 15,000 shillings. I'm giving it away. And all you have to do is tag us either on your IG post, on Facebook IG post. You can find me on IG as @lucy.macridis, or on Facebook, where we are right now. In fact, I need to check and just confirm that we are live. Let me just check. I'm right there and ensure that we are live. Can I see it? Okay, guys, why am I not seeing whether we are live or not? Let's see. Coming up. Yes, we are live, and we've been live since 7 minutes ago. Fantastic. And I can see Nduku Shilatua is here, and she says, I am with bated breath for this time with you all. Hello, Sheila. Fathers are the sweetest of all men in every child's life. Thank you so much, Sheila. We want you guys to interact. As you can see, Sheila is already here. So right back to this, we're giving away these 2 things, and we want you to be able to interact on our Facebook page. You just need to tag me. It is #Tuesday Talks at 3. So don't go looking for LMC Consultancy. Don't go looking for Lucy Macridis. Look for #Tuesday Talks at 3 for you to be able to tag us for a chance to win. So yet another opportunity, like I said in the beginning, to share my purpose. COVID provided me with an opportunity. I chose not to stand still. I chose not to move backwards. I chose to move forward, to grab it. So guys, why don't you share with us a personal success? And I'm going to be more specific. Share a personal success of fatherhood and let us engage. I have a guest here today, and I'm sure he is very ready to engage with us. So share with us one personal success of fatherhood that you know about. If you're a father, one that you're living, or if you do have a father who is of you whose fathers have long gone and gained angel wings like me, what is it that your father did that is a legacy that you are living today that you can actually say, wow, this is what my father did and what it meant? So welcome to Tuesday Talks at 3. This is a platform where we help build one another on our daily journey as we go through the sphere of life. My name is Lucy Macridis, and I'm the founder of LMC Consultancy. I'm an expert in helping people get unstuck and onto their true potential through unlocking their limiting beliefs. I am a clarity coach, I'm a mentor, and I'm an online facilitator. And I'm so happy that you are here with us today. This afternoon, we celebrate fatherhood. And I can see that Julie Ogutu has joined us. Karibu sana, Julie. It's good to have you here. Julie was with us last week, and she's back here. I'm sure she found value, and that's why she's here. So we are celebrating fatherhood. For Father's Day is this coming Sunday. Our guest will be sharing his journey. It's so important that we share our journeys as human beings, because when we share these journeys, we're able to tell our story. Nobody else can tell your story better than yourself. So he's here to share his story. Now, before I bring him up on the screen, it's another first for LMC Consultancy today. In this 1 year, this is the first time that we have a male guest. So you know what? We need to be clapping for LMC Consultancy. This is the first time we have a male guest. And it is amazing that as we bring him here at this very opportune time, we are using this as opportunities again. Opportunities are presented. Guys, are you stepping up to your opportunities so that on the screen? I just want to introduce him first, so that by the time you're seeing him, it's a ta-da. His name is Eric Mwanzia. He is a friend and a colleague in the hospitality industry. He is a business strategist and general management guru. Yes, he does all these things. He's a managing lead at the Arts Group Limited, a Nairobi-based integrated brand communications, marketing, and events agency. As you heard, he's a skilled what? Sales and marketing. Are you seeing how we are connected? Events and business strategist and general management guru. And what I have not put down here, but I think he will come and tell us about his pride and his joy, is that Eric is a father. Eric is a husband, and therefore he is the best guy, one of the best guys to fit this profile, to bring him on here today. So I am so happy. I have just brought him up on the screen, and I want to say, there he is. Karibu sana, Eric. It is good to have you here.
Indeed, a pleasure to be here, Lucy. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. As you can see my background, I'm in Lamu. And that boat there, or the dhow, I specifically put it there so that people can feel. Are you seeing the ceiling? Basically, I'm here on personal business, but I know the show must go on. And that is why I am beaming at 3 o'clock for my audience to be able to consume this amazing topic. And I'm so sure, Eric, that just this 1 hour is not going to be enough, but we are starting somewhere. It's good to have you here. And we
Indeed,
have
thank you.
Deborah Ngina Musembi. Oh, Deborah is here. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you here, Deborah. Support team.
That's my wife.
And then we've got Nanda Kin and Yochi. Yes, that is the wife. As I said, he is a husband and he is a father. So karibu sana, Eric. Eric, I started off by saying that the quality of a father can be seen in the aspects of how he has a purpose or a vision, his dreams, his aspirations. I love the word aspirations, allows us to think and dream outside. As my daughter would say, shoot the wind and just have creativity flowing. That's how I started it off. And it's not about him alone, it's for him and his family. In his position as the head of the home, this is how his qualities are going to be seen. Very profound for me. I then jumped in and I talked about it being akin to a business, because if we're talking purpose, vision, and all those things, it then suggests that there must be some actions that are attached to it, and discipline and seriousness is something important for us to look into. However, in your opinion, what is intentional fatherhood or living by example? I'm just going to give you the mic here to just take us through that, in your opinion.
Thank you, Lucy, for having me, and good afternoon, everyone who's watching us live on Facebook. As I will not go into the introductions because Lucy has already done that. But I think what she forgot to mention is that
Yes.
I'm also a Rotarian. I'm easily 4 days or 5 days old. We were chartered,
Wow. Wow.
as you can see, I have a charter pin. So Rotary Club of Upper Hill, we were chartered last week. But back to the topic, living out my Rotarian business. It's interesting, Lucy, when we talk about intentional fatherhood, because I have been a father now for about 8 or so years. My first boy is turning 9, and it's been quite a journey. But I think my personal story begins with my father.
Okay.
I was born in Machakos and raised up, of course, in Nairobi. My parents are your typical civil servants. My dad was a quantity surveyor with the Nairobi City Council, and my mom, a policewoman, retired now. My dad gained his heavenly angels about 8 years ago or so. From the beginning, when we were young, and this is where I say I derive my notion of fatherhood from, is what I used to see with my dad. I cannot remember, or I can hardly remember, a time when dad was not there. From the time I came to know myself and discover myself as Eric, I remember going to church with my dad when we were young. I remember dad dropping us to school and picking us in the afternoon at 3:45. I remember dad going through our homework, and if you did not know mathematics, woe unto you. He was a mathematician, a perfect one. I remember going to shags with him. Our holidays those days, we would not afford Lamu as you are where you are at now. But our shags were all the same as for everybody else who grew up in Nairobi. Shags was the holiday place. So we close school, would be in Shags with Mzee and Mom, I remember washing the car with my dad. I remember going for evening walks with dad. He taught me how to ride my first bicycle. And when I became older and we began to have conversations, it became deeper and deeper with his presence in our lives. I have 2 siblings, a sister and a brother. And I remember when we were growing up, especially in our secondary school years, Mzee was very much in our lives, of course, with mom. But looking back, I never used to understand, why is this man all in my business? But when I look back now, it actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of the decisions I make, a lot of the thought process and thinking has been largely shaped by his presence and his behavior towards us. And I've come to appreciate that children don't listen to what you tell them. Children do what they see you do. Monkey see, monkey do. Of course, we went through high school. We all schooled in government schools, by the way. Went to high school in Machakos, and of course managed to pass and went to university. And that's where now my relationship with my dad, especially the father-son bond, became quite intense, because I think possibly having come from boarding school and into Nairobi life, you know how universities, all this freedom, we tend to lose a couple of young boys and girls in that phase. But I remember Mzee being with me through that journey. And of course, when we got into mischief, he would always be there, as opposed now to the beatings when we were getting when we were younger. It was more now of having discussions. So this has been my personal story. And when I decided to get married, I remember that Christmas holiday. I'll never forget. I think it was 2008 or 2009. My wife will forgive me if I miss the date. But I remember I went home with my fiancé at that time. And I sat Mzee down and I told him, hey, Dad, Mom, I'm here. And then they're wondering, this guy has guts to come with a girl at home. So I told them, I am actually now ready to settle.
Yes.
Believe you me, I have never seen so much pride reflected in that man's
Oh,
face.
wow. Oh,
It's
wow.
still, I still remember that day with a lot of joy in my heart. So when it comes to intentional fathering, and my understanding of intentional fatherhood has been over the years that any man can be a father, Lucy. Any man can be a father, but it takes a special breed or kind of man to be a dad.
Oh,
I will not brag that I'm an expert in fathering. I speak to this topic out of the experience I've had, as I said, from the time I was growing up and now that I am a father of boys. There is quite a lot that I have learned over the years. And I have been also having discussions with my friends, with my men friends, and it revolves around how do we make our sons better people, if not like us. So that has been the journey that I have been through for the last 9 years, and it continues because my boys are getting into their teenage years very soon. I will be walking with them that journey, God willing. My boys will be, getting into college, and hopefully by the time they are getting into marriage life, we'll still be walking this journey together. So intentional fathering in quick summary, I think it's a deliberate and I don't want to use the word intention because we're talking about intentional fathering, but I want to describe it as the deliberate and purposeful guiding and mentoring of your children, be they boys or be they be girls, because we are raising both of them. And how are we intentional? We have to be intentional in a way that we are deliberate in our decisions about our children, where they go to school, what are they reading, what are they watching. We are living in an era whereby electronic gadgets are all over the place, from our mobile phones to laptops. Children have computers in schools. We have to be making sure we are deliberate and know what's going on. We have to be clear. What is the result of our parenting? And how are we going to measure this success? We have to be purposeful with the time. One of the lessons I've learned about parenting, and I get this from a friend of mine who were in campus together. He got married immediately after campus, which is about 20 years ago. Believe it or not, his son right now is 17. My first boy is 8. My friend once told me that, Eric, I don't know where the time went to. So as fathers, we have very limited time to mentor these boys and these girls before they get into their own free thinking. What is our focus, right? And most importantly, how are we developing intimate relationships with our children? Can your children trust you enough to come and talk to you and tell you, Mom, Lucy, this is the problem I'm having. How do I get out of this? So intentional parenting, intentional fatherhood revolves around you wanting to be there and you knowing why you are doing what you are doing, and you knowing and clearly understanding where we are headed. So that has been my short personal story about intentional fathering, and some of the thoughts of how I think intentional fathering is supposed to be.
I'm just loving them. I am internalizing it, and I'm remembering my father. God bless his soul. I'm just remembering my father and what it is
Indeed.
he did, and I love the way you're talking about monkey see, monkey do, because it's one thing to talk, it's another thing to actually live what it is that you speak. And in today's modernity, because Eric, you are speaking of a time which is your story. That is what happened then. But today we have got different pressures. And what it is that we say we are going to do and what we do at times are two different things. We are lining up in different lines, and one of the lines is peer pressure, how the next door people live. These are things we go by. It's our measurement of society. And it brings in, and I'd love us to talk about it in a few, it brings in a lot of principles and values as a father. However, thank you for sharing your personal story. And before we delve into it, I just want to recognize that here we have got Mary Mackenzie says, hi. Hi, Mary. Sheila Nduku says, Eric Mwanzia is so right. A dad's presence is all encompassing, well spoken, so true. So true. I mean, to this day, my father passed away about 30 years ago. And I tell you, to this day, I still speak of my father to my children. Is it a romantic notion, the way I have perhaps painted him, and I've gone through experience, and maybe that's the one place I can go, a comfort zone, nobody can question me because it's my story? Or is it really a legacy and the way he left me feeling, the way he lived his life, in which these are principles that are true today? When I look out and I see, one of the things he would talk about is hard work. So today I have used that because, as I said, I'm a clarity coach. I have used that and I have tweaked it because in that time, it was literally hard work that paid. You had to break a sweat to get paid. Today, that hard work is smart work. I am able to take it and put it in our modern aspect of life. So somebody said one day, and on a light note, that if hard work is the one that made us rich, then Africa would be so rich, because this is where you have all the hard work. This is where you have the... This is me now taking what my father said in a very positive and mindset, abundance mindset, and making it a reality for me and for my future generation. So I come back to you and I look at what we have covered, and you have talked about the different environments that you had your father with you. It's beautiful that he was there for you in church, when you went to school, when you were doing your homework, car washing. Oh, I remember those days of washing the car. That was a chore, yes, but for dad, it was fast. Water, soap, something to have fun, so that everything was not just seriousness at the end of the day. And he shaped you, as you talked about the deeper connections. I love that, deeper connections. Definitely something that we have to be looking at. And at the end of the day, we are asking ourselves, as parents, what are we doing deliberately? What are we doing in a purposeful manner? What are we doing to guide and to mentor? So I love what it is that you're saying. I think what took it away for me was when you took your fiance to your parents, and what you saw on his face was pride and joy. Pride and joy. A little fly inside his brain, and you would hear him thinking, wow, I raised you well, my son. I raised you well. And thank you so much for bringing it here in fruition. Isn't that what we all want as parents? That our children then come full circle and actually do what it is that is acceptable when it comes to our family principles? That's a beautiful place to be. You say that we need to make use of time, because time is a fleeting. I am now here in Lamu, as I said to you, time. And I am a very proud mother here today, because she's here planning, and I'm watching her planning. And I'm thinking, wow, she really is dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and doesn't make her perfect. She's taking 2 steps back and coming and seeking guidance. I'm not a perfect mother, but she's able. daughter is me taking out time. Any man can be a father, but not any man can be a dad. Ken Kinwa, hello. It is good to see you here. It's been a minute. Great to see you here. Julio Gutu says, the father-child relationship is an eternal one. Okay, Julie, that is deep.
Very deep.
They nurture us. Did you hear? Deep. Well, you talked about presence, Eric. Now, the father can be present, but what does presence mean? And we would like to hear on certain secrets of our audience. Guys, what, in your opinion, is a present father? Eric shared with us the presence of his dad. And come up to him with their future brides. But for you guys, for you, our audience, what is it for you? What does presence mean? And now let me put it into perspective. And this is the lawyer leading the plonks himself on the couch, takes hold of the remote control and starts changing the channels. The guy is tired. The guy has been making a living so that his family, he can provide for his family. He's exhausted, guys. He comes home and he plonks himself on the couch. And as he plonks himself on the couch, he starts with the remote. I am sorry, guys. My internet seems to be wavering. I do hope that we can stay on this together. So I'm giving you some perspective to think about. So that guy who comes in, he's tired and he's now watching TV. Do not disturb him. He is father. He's had a tough day out there. He's also been able to engage in these aspects of Ujenga Nchi. He comes home, he's exhausted. But what does he do? He takes time to be with his children because he's cognizant of the fact that time is a fleeting at the end of the day. So share with us, what are your thoughts, guys? When you consider the fact that these two men have come from work, what works for you? What is it that works for you? Share with us in the chat. And as you're sharing, I just want to throw in something there for you. Eric, you talked about the presence, and I'd like you to just share with us some secrets of intentional fatherhood. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you, Lucy, and congratulations. I am a proud uncle. I have seen your children grow from our days of working together when they were in their teens, and now I'm so happy for you that they're taking a bold step into the next phase of life. Before we go into the secrets or what I have discovered or what I've summarized as the secrets of intentional living, I would like to pose 4 questions to our audience. And the first question is, how were you raised?
I'm writing it down,
number
Eric.
1.
Wait, I'm writing it down. So question number 1.
How were you raised? Question number 2. Who did you become? Question number 3. How did your siblings turn out? And the last question is, how are your children experiencing you? I ask these questions because they speak a lot to the presence of our parents in our lives and to how we are parenting now, because as I said, children behave how they see their parents behaving. So a couple of things that I have taken as lessons, and I have been trying to practice alongside with my wife because she's also a very intentional mother. Number 1 is we try to practice gratitude. Give thanks at the start and the end of each day for the good things in your life. Kenyans, we have become complainers. We complain about everything from the weather to the traffic jam to COVID to whatever it is. Granted, yes. But how often as parents do we sit back with our spouses, with our own children, and just say, thank you, Jesus, for who we are and what we have. So that is a habit we have developed in my family. We pray in the morning before the kids go to school together. We pray in the evening before they sleep. I pray with my wife before I sleep, before when we wake up. So it's a habit. We have gotten into the habit of showing gratitude for what we have. Yes. For in life, there will always be somebody who is doing better than you, and somebody will always be doing worse than you. So that is secret number one that I find really works. And it also instills a culture and an attitude in the kids that they know you cannot have everything, but you can be grateful for the little that you have.
Yes.
Point number two that I have adopted is that how often do we listen to our children? Our children yearn to communicate with us. It could be through throwing a tantrum or bad behavior or just talking to you. But whenever this happens, this child is trying to send a message. So how often do we take time to actually listen to our children? We need to cultivate a habit of having conversations at the end of the day with the kids. How was your day? Tell me more. What happened in school? Or how was, if you have college going kids, how often do we have parents who talk to their college going kids? Possibly none. That is one of the most important things we can ever do as parents, is to learn to listen to our children. Point number three, Lucy, out of my years of working in the hospitality space, I have come to realize that a meal loosens the environment a lot. How often do we sit down and share a meal with our children? Do you have table etiquette in your family? Or when Lucy comes in, she goes to the kitchen, serves a meal, goes to the couch. Mzee comes in, serves his meal, goes to his office. Your daughter comes in, serves a meal, goes to her room. Do you have a culture of eating together? It is very, very important. Small things that make a very huge difference. Learn to share at least one meal a day with your children, which is usually supper or dinner, is usually the best. I'll go back to what I spoke about encouraging children. How often do we recognize and praise the good actions of our children? I'm not talking about how cute they are, how smartly they are dressed, but how do we look for admirable actions that they have done and pick that and tell them, hey son, hey daughter, this is awesome. I want you to improve on this and continue doing better. Something that is very close to my heart, and the people are always asking me, Eric, you are always spending time with your children. Men, we have developed a tendency of not sharing our lives with our families. We have become silent and guarded. We are ever watching football or in the bar or having a good time with our boys pre-COVID or hustling. Don't get me wrong, none of those things are bad, but they should be done in moderation and they should not happen at the expense of your family. We need to develop the habit of spending time with our children. There are parents who are so busy to a point whereby they replace their presence with money.
Yeah.
So when your daughter or
Yes,
son comes
very
to talk
true.
to you, Mom, this is what I need. The next thing you do is dip into your wallet or get your card out and tell them, here.
Yeah.
This is the mistake we are making. Money
Yeah.
is good,
Yeah.
but it cannot buy everything. Your time cannot be replaced. Remember what I said, guys. We are operating on a very short time to spend with these kids. If you ask me, 0 to 18 years, after they go to campus, they are not yours. And the influence is very little.
Yeah.
One of the secrets I have discovered about spending quality time with my family is that in most of the things I do, I am with them. So I plan my social activities around my family.
Yes.
As I mentioned, I'm a Rotarian. Part of the things that Rotary does, we have what we call Rotary Family. So when I am attending Rotary events, because we do a lot of CSR activities, be it going to a children's home, be it planting trees, be it, service to humanity, I tell my wife and kids, if you're available, guys, come. That way, they get also to see what you're doing. When I go to shags, because I love shags, I always drag them along. When we are there feeding the chicken, I tell them, boys, pick up the food and go give it to the chick. So they get to see. You create time with your children. Something that is of paramount importance as a parent: keep your word. Practice the culture of keeping your commitment. If you give a promise to your family, and especially your kids, ensure you keep your word. When you break your children's heart by lying to them because you're trying to brush them off, you end up having children who do not appreciate the value of honoring their word. And this is what leads to delinquent behavior, where sometimes you have children are lying, or they cannot just stick to what they have said, or they cannot commit to anything. So it is important that as parents, we need to ensure that we can keep our word. And if for one reason or another, you are not able to keep your word, can we try and have a discussion around the same with our children, where you tell them, hey, I promised you that I will take you out for pizza, but because of 1, 2, 3, I'm not able to do that. The pizza has just come up because it's one of the key things that my boys are always telling me, Daddy, can we do pizza? And because of discipline, we stick to once a week. And of course, when that day comes, they're always looking forward. So try and keep your word when you talk to your children. It is of paramount importance that you do that. One of the things that I've also come to appreciate as a secret of being a successful father: how many of us delight in our children? We are people who are too busy to see the beauty and the gift that these children are to us. These little ones are given to us by God. How many times do you delight in them? As fathers, we are guardians of the future. I keep on asking my friends and myself, and when I have this discussion with my wife, we ask ourselves, what kind of boys, what kind of men, what kind of women are we going to bequeath Kenya and the world? Because your kids and your family are going to be, your children specifically, are going to be citizens of the world. During their time, they will be working outside the country. They will be away from here. So what traits, what characteristics, what behavior, what values and beliefs and value system are we putting in them that they will be able to operate in a country different from theirs? Do they have an appreciation of different cultures, of different ways of thinking, different perspectives in life? So these are some of the few things that I have managed to pick, and what I think possibly as parents we need to be able to, to adopt in order to be intentional when it comes to raising our children. And before I forget, as parents, we suffer a lot from being handling our children with velvet gloves. We try to protect our children from doing the hard things, which sometimes is not a good thing. We over obsess about them, we overprotect, and in the process, we do not build their self-esteem. It is of paramount importance that as much as we are going to shelter our children, we need also to let them understand and know that in life, there are struggles. Not everything comes easy. Not everything will be available to them. They will not get all they want when they want it. So we need to teach them this lesson. My pastor reminds me that whenever we pray to God, God tells us yes, no, and wait. And I think that is the same principle that we should be having when we are raising our children. Sometimes you have to hold back something from your kids, even if you have it, so that they know it's not a must that you get what you want at this particular time. There are other priorities. Sometimes you have to say a flat no. And sometimes you have to tell them to wait. But whatever decision it is that you make, remember the whole discussion here is all about intent and intentional. You must be able to explain, why did I say no, for example? Or why did I say wait? So these are some of the points, Lucy, that I have come to pick, and they speak and they are close to my heart. I am not 100% perfect, but I try as much as I can to live by these principles so that I am able to bring out boys that I would be proud of. I reference boys because I have boys, but if I had a girl, I would do the same thing. And anyway, I apply the same principles when it comes to my nephews and my nieces. So in a nutshell, that's basically what presence to me means. It's being there emotionally, being there physically, and by physically also you are involved. It's being there psychologically and spiritually, all around 360.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm loving the conversation and the fact that you are actually drawing from your experience with your father and you're making it relevant today. You're making it relevant today because even though your father was present there for you in the activities that he took you through, you have taken that and looked at the situation that you're in today. And yes, your father must have gotten some best practices from his friends and maybe from his dad, but you've made it yours. You have made it yours. And even though your father was present there for you, that in the things that happened to me as a child and what I am doing today as a parent. And yes, I agree with you, we are not perfect. But the thing is, we keep on going. And we keep on believing that we are doing the right thing because this is the future generation. This is our legacy. I like what Sheila is saying, and I loved that word. Yes, indeed, Eric. Thank you for saying that we should delight in our children and that we must be honest in our dealings with them. I totally agree with you. So yes, our parents were not perfect, are not perfect, and neither are we. That does not mean that we should shirk our responsibilities. So as parents, let us be intentional. And I love the points that Eric has brought out about intentional fatherhood. These are things that we can do. The first one is the one that I live by, and that is gratitude. Discussing. There are those people who don't have this opportunity to be able to, they don't have this. They only have in their heads the voices that are telling them, you're not good enough. Who said that you can speak as a parent or as a father? Look at the way it wants to me that your vision is bigger than your current reality. So what is the vision? We can hear from Eric that his vision, his purpose, or parent. That's his vision. So whatever happens here before then, it is what's happening today, building towards that vision. I bring it back to a company again. A company has got a vision and mission statement. Doesn't mean that because today a crisis happened, a fallback happened, a shortfall happened, that moving forward. So certain things need to continue and stay true. So Eric, thank you so much for sharing your secrets, these secrets to intentional fatherhood. And I just want to recognize here that we have got Alice who tuned in. We've got George. George, karibu sana, good to see you here. Shiro Mwangi, Mary Mackenzie, Mariam Mwaka, it's been a minute. Thank you so much. And we're joining in and just talking about fatherhood and celebrating. Share with us that one success that you know about when it comes to fatherhood. Eric has been very vulnerable and liberal about his experiences with his father, which he found to be profound in his life. His father spent time with him, took time to be with him, and today he is doing the same thing with his children. And he is an intentional father in the same way that his wife. That as I was listening to him are coming into just focus and to the top of mind as I'm hearing very clearly. So we're not the person who comes in and plays out with the remote. We are spending time. Yes, we are exhausted, but who are we doing it all for? It is for this generation. We need to make an impact, guys. So know when you're making a purposeful intention to do this. So being creative, I was writing down notes, being creative and spending time with your children. I was. And when I got thrown out, I was following it on Facebook Live, the beauty of technology. So I was able to pick up on things that you had discussed. And then there's creating a healthy relationship with the other parent. Eric was very clear when he said that his wife is also an intentional parent. She's an intentional mother. So you're working together. Now, today's families, you're not necessarily together. You could be coming into a divorce situation, separated situation. You could be having blended families. But this child knows these two individuals as his or her parents. So the two of you need to create a healthy relationship because like Eric says, monkey see, monkey do. This child is going to have a life of their own. It's not a situation of father, mother, and children under one roof. I'm telling you, it's fluid nowadays. Our life is very, very fluid. I like the look and listen. Look and listen. Listen to what your children are saying or what they're not saying. Listen to their body language. Watch. A child tells you so much. And the fact that you're able to learn from them, how else? Share a meal with them, guys. Share a meal with them. Nowadays, I have televisions in every room. We nowadays have microwaves, so people are warming the food from the kitchen and taking off at different parts of the house. Intentionally create a meal time with us. Eric, we're already 6 minutes to time, and we have not even covered the main area that I wanted us to cover, which was the benefits of fatherhood, intentional fatherhood. And I would like to ask you, Eric, would you kindly join us next Tuesday on IG Live? Because I think we need also to move this to another platform where people have the opportunity to partake in this conversation. So we're asking you, this is an invitation from LMC, would you join us next Tuesday, same time on IG Live, and we can take on the benefits of intentional fatherhood? We would have looked at Father's Day completed on Sunday. What say you?
I'll be delighted. Thank you for having me, and I will be there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate you. And Duku Sheila says, yes, indeed, Eric Mwanzia. Thank you for saying that we should delight our children. Yes, I'm sorry, I already read that one. Then we have Mary Mackenzie. Mary Mackenzie is watching. Mary, what are your thoughts? Mary Mackenzie, what are your thoughts? Talk to us about fatherhood. What was your father like? And as you're thinking about that, Eric, takeaways. I never leave my audience without takeaways. You have told us some very profound things. We have come back and we have seen how we can measure the success. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to take that topic to the next week, where we are able to measure and look at the different benefits of fatherhood. What takeaways can you give us that we can apply here and now as we come off this broadcast?
Thank you, Lucy. To sum it up, we've had a brilliant discussion, and I think the takeouts from this discussion today, number one is presence. We cannot trade our presence for anything. True success of being a parent, I believe, is not measured by how much money we make, by the positions we hold, or the education we have or we impact in our children. Of course, education is important, but it is measured by the meaningful relationships that we have created, starting with our families and our children, and how they will be able to relate with the world and others in the coming days. We need to make time for our children because the clock is ticking. This is something that I am reminded every day. The clock is ticking. Number two, and the last takeout for today, we reproduce after our own kind. Take a good look at yourself.
So true.
If your child turned out as you, would you be happy? I would actually even ask a different question. Lucy, you being a girl, would you be happy with your daughter becoming a woman like you? As a man, would I be happy if my sons became a man like me? We need to take a look at ourselves. Monkey see, monkey do. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you so much, Eric. Guys, there you have it. When you look at your children, and if they were to turn out like you, would you be happy? That's a deep question. Are you happy with yourself? And if you're happy with yourself, you would want them to come out like you. If you're not happy with yourself, what are you going to do to change that reality so that your children can see in you that person that they aspire to be? Julie Ogutu says, takeaway number 3. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Julie. Mary Mackenzie says, my father is Eric's uncle. Whoa, okay. And all I can say, I thank God for him. He has molded us 9 children to the people we are. He has always been a present dad and grandfather. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mary. Tell him now, while he is alive. Tell him now. Let him smile with pride and joy. And you know what's going to happen when you tell him the 2 of you are going to cry? because you are giving back to him. You are recognizing him, you're validating him. As a parent, for a child to come back and say thank you, that is deep. That is another level, because you were not given a manual. But this child coming back to you just tells you, tick, you did something correct. So thank you so much for sharing, Mary. I appreciate you, and I can see the comments are coming in. Mary says, and my husband and I are very present parents, given that we have a teenager now, and I have become more of a listener. Very true. Cousin Eric. Well, Eric, there you have your message. Thank you so much. Next week, as you hear, we're going to continue, shall we say, on part 2. We're going to look at the success of fatherhood and the benefits of great parenting. And we're going to look at that. You will be hearing from us on our social media platforms. Just check it out for the login details. We would love for you to be there. Eric, those takeaways are very profound. That clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. And I like the other one where you said, I can go on about this. It says, do not for every other thing that could be a next week. I would like you before then to really help build one another. And until then, I want you to bye now.
Thank you and bye.